Long before maps divided North America into countries and provinces, the forests of the north stretched almost endlessly across the continent. Towering pines covered the landscape. Frozen lakes disappeared beneath thick sheets of ice, and winter could last for months. In this unforgiving wilderness, survival depended on preparation, trust, and the willingness to help one another. It was here that one of North America's oldest and most enduring legends was born. The legend of the Wendigo. Today, the Wendigo is one of the most recognizable creatures in modern horror. It appears in films, novels, television series, and video games, often portrayed as a towering beast with massive antlers, glowing eyes, and the skull of a deer. It is an unforgettable image. But according to many of the oldest oral traditions, that is not how the Wendigo was originally described. The true legend is far older than Hollywood, and its purpose was never simply to frighten people. It was a warning. The stories originate among several Algonquian-speaking indigenous peoples, including the Ojibwe, Cree, Algonquin, Innu, and Saulteaux. Because these stories were passed down orally for generations, there is no single version accepted by every community. Details vary from region to region, yet nearly all of them share the same central message. The Wendigo represents what happens when a person abandons their humanity. To understand why this warning mattered, it helps to understand the world in which it was created. The boreal forest is one of the largest ecosystems on Earth, stretching across much of modern Canada and into the northern United States. Winters there are long, dark, and brutally cold. Temperatures can fall well below freezing for weeks at a time. Heavy snowfall buries trails, rivers freeze solid, and food becomes increasingly difficult to find. For the people who lived there, survival depended on cooperation. Families hunted together, communities shared food. No one could survive completely alone. When resources became scarce, generosity was not simply a virtue, it was essential. The Wendigo emerged from these conditions as a warning against greed, selfishness, and abandoning the community for personal survival. In many traditional stories, the Wendigo was once an ordinary human being. Most versions tell of someone driven to cannibalism during a time of desperate starvation. While starvation itself was understood as a terrible reality of life, choosing to consume another person was believed to destroy something far greater than the body. It destroyed the spirit. The individual became cursed with an appetite that could never be satisfied. No matter how much they consumed, they remained hungry. Some stories say the more the creature ate, the larger it grew. But its hunger always grew even faster. It became trapped in an endless cycle of consumption. That endless hunger is what made the Wendigo unique. Unlike many mythical creatures, it was not simply a predator searching for its next meal. It symbolized desire without limits, a warning that once greed takes control, nothing will ever feel like enough. Over time, European explorers, missionaries, and fur traders entered these northern forests, and recorded stories they heard from indigenous communities. While these accounts preserved parts of the legend, many misunderstood its deeper meaning. Some dismissed it as superstition. Others described it only as a terrifying wilderness monster. But for the people who passed these stories from one generation to the next, the Wendigo was never just something hiding between the trees. It was a lesson, a reminder that survival depended on protecting one another, even during the darkest winters. That lesson has helped the legend survive for centuries. Even today, people continue to recognize something unsettling about the Wendigo. Not because they fear meeting the creature in the forest, but because its endless hunger reflects something that still exists within the human world. If the Wendigo began as a person, what did that transformation actually look like? The answer is very different from the monster most people imagine today. If you ask someone today what a Wendigo looks like, chances are they will describe a creature with towering antlers, glowing eyes, and the skull of a deer. That image has become one of the most recognizable monsters in modern horror. It is also one of the biggest misconceptions about the legend. Many of the oldest descriptions portray the Wendigo as something far more disturbing, because it still resembled the person it once was. Witnesses described an impossibly thin figure with pale skin stretched tightly across its bones. Its eyes were sunken, its lips had withered away, and despite looking weak from starvation, it possessed unnatural strength. Some stories claimed its heart had turned to solid ice, while others said frost followed wherever it walked. Its appearance reflected its curse. No matter how much it consumed, it remained starving. Many stories focused less on seeing the Wendigo than on sensing its presence. Hunters spoke of an unnatural silence falling over the forest. Birds stopped singing. The wind seemed to disappear. The familiar sounds of the wilderness were replaced by the feeling that something was watching from beyond the trees. Some traditions also describe the Wendigo as capable of imitating human voices. A traveler might hear a loved one calling in the distance, a friend asking for help, even the cries of a lost child. Whether understood as a supernatural ability or a warning against wandering into the wilderness alone, the lesson remained the same. Stay with your group. Do not follow every voice you hear. As European settlement expanded across North America, the legend spread beyond the communities where it began. Writers, artists, and filmmakers gradually reshaped the creature into the version most people recognize today. The antlers, the deer skull, the towering body. These features make for unforgettable horror, but they are largely modern artistic interpretations rather than descriptions consistently found in the oldest oral traditions. Another subject often associated with the Wendigo is what historians call Wendigo psychosis. For centuries, missionaries and traders recorded accounts of people who believed they were becoming a Wendigo or feared they would transform into one. Some claimed they felt an uncontrollable desire to eat human flesh. Today, historians and psychologists continue to debate these reports. Some believe they reflected starvation, trauma, isolation, or severe mental illness. Others argue the stories were misunderstood by outsiders, unfamiliar with indigenous beliefs. Whatever the explanation, the purpose of the legend has remained remarkably consistent. The Wendigo was never simply a monster waiting in the darkness. It was a warning against allowing greed, desperation, and selfishness to overcome compassion. That lesson has survived for centuries because it speaks to something timeless. Every generation faces the temptation to pursue more without considering the cost. The Wendigo reminds us that endless hunger is not always physical. Sometimes it is the hunger for power, for wealth, for control. Whether viewed as folklore, history, or moral teaching, the Wendigo remains one of North America's most enduring legends. Not because it tells us to fear what waits beyond the trees, but because it reminds us that the greatest monsters are often created when people forget their humanity. The forests where these stories were first told may seem distant, but the lesson they carry is as relevant today as it was centuries ago. The Wendigo was never just a creature of the wilderness. It was, and still is, a warning.